Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fraser Ballpark here on beautiful Championship Sunday. It is the big one, game 69, the grand final. Papanui will take on Mount Albert Ramblers. Boy, oh boy, it's been 5 days of immense competition with club teams from all over New Zealand, from the top of the North Island to the bottom of the South Island. They've gone head to head, and we are now down to 2. Before I go any further, I'm Jason Goobies, aka Chopper. Let me bring into the booth with me my fellow commentator Gary Rowe here.
Well, thanks Chopper, and it's an amazing day here in the Hutt Valley. I'm so proud to be here to represent the 04 commentary crew in the call for this grand final. Sure to be a huge event in softball in this country, always is the grand final for 2021 here in the Open Men's National Club Championship.
Well, let's have a little look at how these teams got to the final. Let's go first with Papanui in Group 4 round robin play. This is how they started up in their action. They had Hutt Valley Dodgers dropped that game, but they did take on Albion, Hutt Valley Marist and Panthers successfully to come out in second place in that pool. Where did they go after that? They went into the top 8, of course. Papanui, they were in the the Section A of the top 8. Let's have a look at what they did in Section A, because it was simply outstanding. When they got an opportunity, they took it with both hands, didn't they? Ramblers again, stumbling block, but then Roosters and PCU proved the difference for them to finish second in that top 8 section, Gary.
Oh, absolutely, and what a troop of a team they are. They've had to come to this grand final by the long way around, so they had to play this again this morning, and here they are. They're having come through the long way around. One wonders what Ben Watts will have to bring with him. He's been a real Iron Man for them.
We'll find out. Ben Watts will be the starting pitcher for Papanui. Let's go to Mount Albert Ramblers now. They went for round robin play through Group 1 action, and boy oh boy were they impressive. The only stumbling block was Porirua. To be fair though, it was torrential rain. Auckland, Marist and Hutt City United, they took care of them in quick fashion, Gaza.
Absolutely, and they've looked actually the class of the whole tournament so far. Everyone will be looking to attain what they have as far as the excellence of their play goes.
Ramblers went into the top 8 in Section A. Let's have a look at the action for them as they march through that undefeated. 8-1 as you see over Roosters, a close one against the Devils, and then Papanui, that's who they're going to face in the final, 11-4. They got the wood over them in that one.
Yeah, well, I suppose there's always the argument. They've had a rest after they finished that game against Papanui yesterday. They got the rest this morning, give them a chance to prepare a little bit. Papanui had to play, so one team's coming in fresh, but one team's coming in with a game under their belt and nice and warm, rearing to go. 69 games on the schedule. We're up to number 69, the grand final. Let's have a look at the starting lineup first for Papanui. Boy, they've been impressive. We just saw their matchup against Auckland United. What a match. Nathan Watt at the top of the shop. The catcher has been simply outstanding. See Finney
He's playing at second base now because Anthony Stewart has way had a baby just this morning. Congratulations to the Stewart family on that one. Jackson White, he's been impressive. So has Tyrone Bartarello, found his rhythm just recently.
Oh, absolutely. You looked at their stats going into the game against Dodgers last night, and you would have thought that that game, they were probably came into that game maybe as underdogs. But they dug deep, they battled hard. Their batters are firing now. This morning they put on an exhibition in the Auckland United game. It was a very tight game, but it ended up being 5-4 to Papanui, ELE Papanui, and they won it for them.
You can see Callum Muir move from the DP role to third base today with Stewart's absence. Bishop hitting in the sixth spot for first baseman. Lubowiski is the designated player now. Gladding and Dixon, the centre fielder, he's been the mainstay. Ben Watts will be the starting pitcher. Let's look on the other ledger now for Mount Albert Ramblers. Their starting lineup for this one.
Do we just say black sock, black sock, black sock?
Pretty much. Look at the batting averages here, Gaz. It's simply outstanding. If anyone hits below 300, boy, oh boy, you're on the wrong team. 400, 600, Nathan Nukunuku. How about Cole Evans? 4 home runs on the tournament thus far.
Oh, absolutely, and this is the sort of batting lineup that you dream of having in your Premier 1 team. I mean, it just goes from 1 to 9. There's no rest. Everyone's a hitter.
They have contributed up and down the lineup. You can see Gerard and Rice 6 and 7. They've added some punch to the lineup as well, and the young catcher is simply outstanding there, batting at 500. Well, the teams are being announced out onto the field here. We might just go down to the ground announcer and let you be introduced to the teams in front of us as well.
That's the starting lineup and reserves for the ELE Papanui. Now let's introduce Ramblers from Mount Albert in the leadoff spot, wearing 44, playing centre field. Wearing 34, the shortstop, Cole Evans. Wearing 12, playing first base, Nathan Nukunuku. The designated player, wearing 23, Connor Beaton. Wearing 28, playing third, it's Reese Evans. Wearing 88, at second base, it's Lewis Gerard. Wearing 50, in the left field, it's Maddox Rice. Wearing 99, in the right field, is Floyd Nola. Wearing 2 behind the dish is Max Early. Doing the running is Oscar Clark. And on the mound, wearing 10 is Daniel Chapman. The reserves for Ramblers, Liam Twigden, Tane Slaughter, Taylor Hick, Seth Bourgeois, Brock Evans, and Brendan Corporal Lowison. Now that I ask everyone be please upstanding, remove all hats for today's, one moment, please welcome to the field from the under 11 Hutt Valley Dodgers and the Hutt Valley team. Carrying the New Zealand flag is Quinn Barber. Now that we remain upstanding, remove all hats for today's national anthem. Now both teams will meet in the middle to shake hands as a sign of sportsmanship.
Well, I don't know about you, Gazza, but every time I hear our great national anthem here in New Zealand, it just sends a tingle down my spine. Well, welcome everyone to the ELE Group Men's Open Club National Championship live here from Fraser Ballpark. Woo! It's been a great 5 days, 68 games in the bank, but the big one yet to come. Gary Rauhihi joining me in commentary. Gazza, what do you think's going to happen in this match?
Oh, mate, put me on the spot. There hasn't even been a pitch thrown yet. But look, Papanui battled hard, and they've shown that their batters are coming into form. Ramblers, we know what they're going to bring. They're going to be huge on the mound with Daniel Chapman. They're going to be huge at the plate with their batters. So it's going to be important for Papanui to defend so that they can stop that attack from tearing them to bits.
Well, fantastic. There you go. There's the analysis. Welcome to the home of sport. That's Sky Sport. I'm Jason Gooby's AK Chopper. As we just mentioned, Gary Rauhihi in colour commentary. Expert analysis as we take you through an hour and a half of competitive fast pitch softball, club softball. It doesn't get any better than this, does it? Let's have a look at the defensive lineup for Mount Albert Ramblers, who will take the field first year as they're in their huddle over at the third base. Boy, oh boy, they've been outstanding, error-free all weekend. Maddox Rice, Bradley Bennett and Floyd Nola left to right in the outfield. It's Reese Evans gets the start in the hot corner. Cole Evans at shortstop. Lewis Gerard will be over on the right side with Nathan Nukunuku. He is the player coach. Max Early, the youngster behind the dish. For the starting pitcher, Daniel Chapman.
Oh, absolutely huge out there, Daniel Chapman. I mean, when he's really on his game, he's pitching it up around 130 kilometres an hour, and I shudder to think how quick it takes to get into the catcher's glove. But when it does, it sounds like a stock whip going off. It's going that hard.
Cracking the whip, that's Chapman for sure. Let's look at the batting lineup now for ELE Papanui. Boy, oh boy, we saw their prowess against Auckland United in the semi-final this morning. It's Watt, Finney, Watt, Bartarello. What a combination. Then the experience of Callum Muir and Callum Bishop in the middle there of the order. The youngsters, Lubowiski, Gladding and Dixon. That is an outstanding batting lineup and worthy of a national championship.
Oh, absolutely, and none better lead off than Nathan Watt. He's been absolutely superb for them, and just in that last game there, look out for this combination. Finney, Watt, Bartarello, Muir. They all got contact, they all got hits.
Well, we've got a great blue crew in this one. They've been outstanding all week under the guidance of Widamu Tamaki, one of the best umpires, not only in New Zealand but the world. Let's have a look at those officials for you now. It'll be Lance Brown over at first base, Andy McManus at 2, Gavin Shepherd at 3, and calling the balls and strikes, North Harbour's own, hey-ha! It is Mark Porteous. The official scorer on this one, Alison Kingsington. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Shall we go? Let's do it. The grand final of 2021. Rise ball from Chapman, first pitch, and boy, oh boy, it looks like it's pumping.
Yeah, well, this is the pinnacle. I was talking to Adam Woon in the just defeated Auckland United side, and I said, mate, are you guys up for this? He said, well, if you can't get up for the finals for Sunday on National Club Championship weekend, when can you get up?
Yeah, exactly, indeed. It's a beautiful day here at Fraser Ballpark. Not a cloud in the sky. Forget about day one. That one is history, baby. We have now got sunny skies and perfect weather for this grand final here today as we play along. Gazza, the home of softball here, Fraser Park. Isn't it great to see the crowd right around the outfield fence and packed down the lines as well?
Well, mate, it's beginning to build as we speak, and there'd be 200 or 300 out there. It'll probably swell to about 500. They always turn it on here at Fraser Park. When the sun's out, there's no place better to watch top quality softball.
Obviously the home of some of the greats, Snowy Shaw, Mark Sorensen, just to name a couple. Softball here is inbred in people from the valley, that's for sure. 1-2 the count here, lead-off batter Nathan Watt. Drop ball outside from Chapman. Chapman has been outstanding this week, hasn't he, Gaz?
Oh, he's been absolutely outstanding. His pitching's actually gotten better and better and better. He's down to an earned run average now of 285. Most of that was happened in the inclement weather and last Thursday, and since then he's just got stronger and bigger and faster.
Stronger, bigger and faster. Daniel Chapman, boy oh boy. I tell you what, the hitters are like, please no more stronger, please no more faster, because he's on point right now.
No, they're walking out to that plate thinking, stay off the rise ball, stay off the rise ball. He's got one of the best in the business.
Well, that's the key. Nicknamed it the dagger, his rise ball. He throws it to punch out batters when he gets an opportunity. There was one there, but a little wide this time. Nathan White, the top of the shop, but Papanui's been outstanding, isn't he?
Absolutely outstanding. He's had eight hits in the tournament so far. His on-base percentage is 440 and he's batting 348 in anybody's language at this time of the tournament.
Ground ball up the middle, Evans, silky smooth as ever.
That is fantastic. Look out for the acrobatics of Cole Evans. This guy not only is one of the premier batters in world softball, but he's also one of the safest gloves in world softball.
Next up the band with the starting second baseman, resides in Dunedin. But travels up to Christchurch to play a softball now, Mitchell Finney.
Mitchell Finney was very impressive in the last game. His base running was right on point. So he's come in and he's had 7 hits, which is excellent. He's up around 250 on his average. You probably want to improve that, and he gets it done right there.
Just what the doctor ordered from the second baseman from Papanui, laying the table at any opportunity, because the middle of that batting order from Papanui, we talk about them, they are outstanding, but not only outstanding, they're in form. Jackson Watt will go first.
Wow, he was brilliant in the last game. Got up there, he's hit the ball hard, he's hit home runs to get Papanui here, and he's been absolutely huge. And with a batting average of 333 and an on-base percentage of 500, you can see why.
Gazza, I've noticed the first 3 batters here from Papanui going at the first pitch. Looks like they're going to be aggressive.
Well, aggressive, yeah. I mean, and their analysts have obviously gone to work as well, because they've seen and they've probably adjudged the percentages of first pitch strikes that Daniel's throwing, and so therefore they've come in with a clear game plan.
There's the dagger right through the top on the letters, and Jackson White just comes around and asks the question of home plate umpire Mark Porteous, is that in? He nods, yes it is. If he can get that strike called all day, that could be trouble.
Might have been just thinking, was it on the swing?
There's the dagger again. Sorry, Gaz. There's the dagger again. Outside edge, though, this time. Boy, that rise ball had a little bend.
Oh, I suspect we're going to hear that a lot. But, yeah, it had a cutter on that one.
Well, come the time, come the man. And this man has done it so many times, not just for his club side, but also for his country. And ground ball, get up in the air. What a play. What a play from Reese Evans. Simply outstanding by the third baseman from Mount Albert Ramblers. Boy, there was some hang time there. We're going to see good defense, good pitching, good hitting. Wow, can't wait for more action. Bottom of the first coming up next. ELE Group Men's Open Club National Championship live from Fraser Ballpark on the home of sport, that's Sky Sport. Welcome to the continuous coverage here on behalf of Softball New Zealand and the Hutt Valley Softball Association. I'm Jason Gubis, Chopper Gary Roll here in the booth with me for Ballpark Broadcasting in partnership with Atiawa Tour FM. Bottom of the first innings, let's look at the defensive lineup for ELE Papanui. That's a pretty decent one. Josh Dixon, he'll be starting out at centre field, and you've got Jackson Watt, he's over and right. Hot corner now is Callum Muir. Tyrone Bartarello gets to start at shortstop. Mitchell Finney will be the starting second baseman. Callum Bishop over at first. Jackson Watt behind the dish, and it's Ben Watts with the ball, Gaza, for Iali Papanui.
Oh, absolutely. We'll start to call this guy the Iron Man because he's pitched everything for them in the last 3 days. He pitched the game this morning, and you think the guy would get tired, but I actually had a word with Nathan Watt behind the dish about 5 minutes ago before the game started, and he said not even. He says he's absolutely pumped.
He's a workhorse, Ben Watts. It was Josh Gladding out at left field to round out that fielding order. Let's look offensively for the boys from Mount Albert Ramblers from Auckland. In this one, you can see Bradley Bennett, Cole Evans, Nathan Nukunuku, Connor Peter. Bam, bam, bam. Nathan Nukunuku, 600. Wow. Reese Evans, Gerard Rice, Nola, and Max Hurley. That's the Ramblers from 1 to 9. We're all set to go here, bottom of the first innings. There is no score so far. And boy, oh boy, don't change the dial, because you know, in games like this, it can change in the blink of an eye. First pitch, there you go, don't blink. It's Bennett who drives the first hit up the middle.
Bradley Bennett, been doing it all tournament. We're looking at a guy who's one of the top leadoffs in the tournament. Look, he's had his on-base percentage is 579. He's batting 400, so it's absolutely outstanding.
Cole Evans has simply been invincible when it comes to this tournament when the pressure is on.
The thing is these guys, their on-base percentage is way higher than their batting average in some cases. So hitting or walking or however they're getting on, they're finding a way to get to first base.
Fouls back.
Out of the way, we'll put Evans in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, oh boy, Cole Evans has just matured as he is a hitter. We know he made it into the Sox as a young 16-year-old a few cycles ago now. But boy, oh boy, has he blossomed into a real quality, not just domestically, international hitter as he slides on a rise ball on the outside edge. That's a great pitch by Ben Watts.
Oh, it's a magnificent piece of work by Ben Watts. He's just retired the current Black Sox captain there, and probably one of the world's, if not at the moment, the number 1 player in the world softball at the moment.
First pitch you see to Nathan Nukunuku, 600 batting average on the outside edge.
600 batting average. His on-base percentage is 786. I mean, you might as well put him out there now because he's going to get there. He's also leading the RBI count, Chop, of which Ramblers have had 57 of them in the tournament.
57! Wow, Mount Albert Ramblers batting average of his team is 348. And now, anytime you're hitting like that, it doesn't matter who's on the hill, but if you got Chapman, chances are pretty good.
Yeah.
Nukunuku says no, but then says yeah, as he wants Bennett to swipe second base on that bobbled ball behind the dish.
Well, if you weren't here and you read these stats pages, you'd come back and you'd tell me that Ramblers were going to win this game, but we both know that softball's more about what's on the sheet in front of us.
Got it? 2-1, yeah.
All set now, 2-1, the count on Nathan Nukunuku. You hear the umpire mic'd up, Mark Porteous behind the dish. Anything interesting happens, we'll be able to peepee on in, find out what's going on.
Oh, you will find out, because Mark Porteous, in my mind, throughout this week, one of the best communicators from the Blues out there.
One of the best pitches I can see out of Ben Watts, just in this opening sequences here, is the rise ball. We're right behind home plate, so we've got the best view in the house, Gazza. It's one thing, though, to have a good rise ball against Ramblers, but if you get it wrong, it's a long wrong.
Absolutely, and we saw that in the game that Auckland Ramblers played against Auckland United last night, in that for the first 3 innings, it was 3 up, 3 down. It was an extremely tight ball game. And then Auckland United gave Ramblers just a hint of a sniff in that one. And within the next 1.5 innings, the ball game was all over. It was just shut the gate. So you give them a sniff and they'll close you out.
Looking for a sniff. Looking for an opportunity.
Well, 2 strike 2.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Nukunuku now. Drop ball inside, cuts inside the bat, but clicks the catcher here, Nathan Watt.
Foot.
Well, just looks like he's in a little bit of pain.
Top
Might
off.
take a few minutes.
That's why you should wear steel caps as a catcher.
No, it's foot.
I tell you what, Gazza, you can always trust a pitcher to break the ice there. He says that's why you should wear steel caps as a catcher. It looks like
Nathan Watt won't thank him for that when he goes, tell me after the fact.
Oh, I tell you what, it's the only thing that is unprotected in a catcher when you look at all of their protective equipment. They've got the leg guards, the chest protector, the helmet,
left to break
but
it.
the toes of the shoes are exposed, and that foul tip on the cutter off Nukunuku's bat, squilly on his big toe by the looks of things in the right foot.
Well, Nathan Watt does pitch at a fair few Ks himself. He's not quite at that express pace of Daniel Chapman, but it probably picked up a few Ks off that bat and unfortunately went into the foot of Nathan Watt
No, that doesn't look good.
very quickly.
Oh, he's getting up, and I tell you what, the Papanui will be hoping that the youngster has a nice round of applause from the crowd here, is going to be okay to continue. It does not look like he is, though. We'll just peep in and see what head coach Carl McElroy says to the umpire.
Ladies and gentlemen, for a round of applause
So
for
DP's
Dr.
gonna go
Nathan
to
Watts. Hell of a tournament.
And 2's going to go to the DP.
Oh, yeah,
See what happens there after.
yep.
You get the full set of 5 pitches. New catcher coming
No, 3.
in. 3.
Yeah. Oh, pen won't work. Yeah.
So they are going to make a change here in the catching
Would you like to
position. Just see, I didn't quite catch the shirt number. Did you, Gazza, who's going to come in for Papanui?
Not yet.
Have no change.
I tell you what, this is a
Dispositional,
big
deep
blow
into
for
it.
Papanui. We
Huge.
talked about how not only Nathan
He'll
Watt has
stay there.
contributed offensively, but defensively, he's been outstanding, hasn't he?
We've seen a little bit of Nathan Watt on Diamond 1 during our broadcasts, and to my mind, he's been one of the classes of the tournament behind that dish at catcher. There's been several on display, obviously international catchers as well, and surely he's knocking on the door of that sort of stature as well, because he's absolutely outstanding.
Yes, indeed. We wish Watt, who's in a lot of agony in the dugout, we can see from here, is going to be able to come back into this match and partake in this game. He's worked so hard all week, 68 games gone so far through the tournament, and to fall over on the 69th
Throw him a
match
couple,
will
make
be
sure he's okay.
quite a thing. Looks like shirt number 54, Gaz, is going to come in.
Don't wanna get-
Josh Lubieski's come
Don't
in.
get
He's
pitched
listed
out
as the
too high.
DP on the team sheet, but he's come in to replace Nathan Watt.
Not worried about you.
If he gets some medical treatment, is he able to come back?
Oh, definitely. That's
Absolutely.
just positional changes. A DP that's come in. Luberiski, yeah, it is indeed. So that's just a positional change. Catcher will go, DP comes in, and then the catcher goes to the DP now. So they may bring in a substitution for Nathan Watt, who'll be the DP. So we'll find out and who that will be. On the bench for ELE Papanui is Hunter Simpson, Jaden Brett, and Rory
Vailuanga?
Vailuaga. It's
My
okay.
apologies to the Vailuanga family if I got that wrong, but
What about apologies for your handwriting in the scorebook?
oh, come on. I read that perfectly.
Fair enough. Let's back to the action, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom of the first innings here. There is one out. Nathan Nukunuku's up to bat. Ben Watts will continue this time to Lubieski. Drop ball outside.
Load the count, 3 balls, 2
Ben Watts, he's just going to chip away on those edges. He's going to cut the corners. He's going to do everything to keep that ball out of the danger zone for these Ramblers hitters. And he did a great job of that against Auckland United.
Drop ball outside. So the first two pitches That Luburiski catches balls here and allows Nathan Nukanuka to go down to first base. To be fair, the base was open, so there was an option for that anyway. Connor Peter now the designated player with 2 ducks on the pond.
Connor Peden, he's an outstanding hitter, this guy. He's in there coming in early in the batting order. His batting average up over 333. He's got a 500 on-base percentage. So you begin to see the value of the hitters in this Ramblers lineup all the way through.
That's the thing with Connor Peden, isn't it? When he gets an opportunity, he seems to take it with both hands. With runners on base, he's picked up 6 RBIs so far through the tournament. Right here, in the bottom of the first innings, he's looking for number 7 and number 8. Slow grounder, tough play for Muir. Glove's got to be good, the hand's got to be good, and it's not quick enough to transfer because Peden is lightning down the line. The Ramblers now, they are gathering, they are building. It's a loaded bases situation.
Reese Evans.
Third baseman for Mount Albert Ramblers, Reese Evans gets an opportunity here early in this match. Just one down, the loaded bases.
Reese Evans coming up to bat for Mount Albert Ramblers. As soon as I find him on the sheet, sorry, Chop.
He has been outstanding. Goes to the first pitch. Pulls
Another one with 6 RBIs, so his production's been fantastic. Batting 357.
Healthy clip. Remember, a successful career is 333. These guys are above that tide mark as far as a career is concerned already. 1 strike here, though, on Evans. Loaded bases, 1 down. Bottom first, no score. Cutter, and it's good.
It's a real nice pitch from Nathan Watt. Not much you could do about that one.
Tell you what, that pitch was coming down the tram line right on the edge of the strike zone until about a half a foot before it, and then said left hand turn Clyde. What a pitch. No balls and 2 strikes now. Foul ball. Left hand turn Clyde.
Well, he's going to take him deep into the count here because he's going to look to get that ball out onto the grass. Maybe even a push bunt, but he's got 2 strikes now, so that's not going to happen. But anything out on the grass.
Looking for that opportunity to find a bit of green. The outfield green. Look at a run and 2 here. Big opportunity for Evans. Drop ball down.
Outside from first ball.
Keza, I said left hand turn, Clyde. After I said that, I was like, have I done that twice in this tournament now? Of course, that's In Which Way Is Loose, the famous movie. But that's a past generation. The younger viewers were like, what the hell is Chopper talking about? I did it the other day with Fabio. Like, we showed it to Andrew Van Stippen. He's like, who's
that?
Fabio? Got to remember my age sometimes.
That makes 2 of us, Chopper.
Well, I tell you what, if there's any aged or matured people watching the broadcast today, chuck us a comment. Let us know you knew what those 2 references were.
And for all the rest of you younger viewers, just Google it.
Back to the action now. Low lifter is good on the incident. I mean good with a capital G.
Nice
That's
work.
a great strikeout. 2 on the day this innings so far for Ben Watts. And he needs to, doesn't he, with loaded bases? But he's no Sprite here, second baseman Lewis Gerard.
He comes up after his heroics from last night against Auckland United, where with 1 swing of the bat, he ended the ball game. So he's been absolutely fantastic. He's another one of the Ramblers batters with 6 RBIs. They seem to get him in 6s leading up to a grand final. 438 on base percentage, batting 357.
Good clip as well.
Now I remember in the round robin coming into the top 8, his batting average was down around 240, 250. And I do remember saying he's going to need to improve on that in the later rounds. Well, there we go. 2 games later, it's back up in very healthy looking mid-300s.
What does that mean? Lewis Gerard has found form at the right end of the tournament.
Yeah.
And in this situation, you said he can close the door by hitting the winning runs. Can he open the door here for Mount Albert Ramblers with no score in the bottom of the first innings? 2 outs, loaded bases.
Yeah, 2 out. What a job Ben Watts is doing to dig himself out of what looks like a very deep hole at the moment. That's not going to help.
Scampers away from Lewiska. They may score 2 here. Here comes Nukunuku with an invite that he takes with both hands as he slams the home plate. Mount Albert Ramblers jump out to an early lead here. 2 runs to 0. Unfortunately, a pass ball.
Wow, we've already said it. You give this Mount Albert Ramblers team a sniff of an opportunity and they'll take it. That pass ball only went down by the third base dugout and they scored 2 runs off it.
2 balls, 1 strike.
It's one of those ones that Lubowiecki got something behind it, but then it ricocheted to his left, as you were saying, down third base foul territory as they ran for it. So did Nukunuku coming all the way in from second base. Connor Peden was paying attention. He started at first base on that play. Went coast to coast. He's now 60 feet away, looking for that third run of the ball game here for Mount Albert Ramblers in the bottom of the first innings.
Well, we've already mentioned that with Daniel Chapman on the mound, on the hill for Ramblers, that it might be a long day for the Papanui batters.
There's that cutter again. It looks good. I thought his rise ball was on point, but the cutter is even better. 3 outs all come via the strikeout from Ben Watts, but not before they load the bases. There was a walk in the middle of that too, remember, to Nukunuku. And he scores on the pass ball to Gerard. So 2 runs to 0. Mount Albert Ramblers leading. We'll be back with more action. Top of the second in just a short moment.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investex Super Rugby titles. Don't let the heels fool you. Wendy crushed 2 of the biggest names in men's tennis to go all the way at Wimbledon. Tony, one of New Zealand's most impressive multi-sport players. Try playing and taking out a rugby league grand final, a grand slam, and the New Zealand Cup all at once. Mary Adams came from nothing to take Cleveland to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally, meet Richard Sykes, a man with many loves, 80s hip-hop, whose dog barked Twain, and winning, specifically, the Cup final at Wembley. Now it's your turn. TAB, now you're in the game.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the second innings. Yali Papanui will send up Callum Muir, Callum Bishop, and Josh Lubowiecki now catching for the boys from Christchurch. We see Callum Muir go down on strikes for the first out here in the top of the second. Gaza, after giving up 2 runs in the bottom of the first here, Yali Papanui, what are they going to do here in the top?
Well, the strikeout to Chapman on Muir is not the best start, but first thing is to get them standing out there 60 feet away on first base, and then it's just station to station. You know, move them around, execute your batting, just smart batting really, and you've got plenty of time to do it in ones.
They'll be trying to do it in ones for sure. Callum Bishop, been maturing as a hitter, the first baseman for Yali Papanui.
Callum Bishop, he comes in here, he's 8 bats, 24 plate appearances. He's batting .211, so he probably just wants to improve that a little bit.
Fouls that one back.
He still manages to get on first base and one in every 3 bats.
Not a bad average, not a bad statistic to have. But as they always say, Gaza, cream always rises to the top, and got to say, Bishop is a good hitter. He'll come good at some stage, but Chapman says not right now. 3 strikeouts on the day for Daniel Chapman.
Says it with the dagger again.
The dagger. Rise ball finishes him off. Replacement catcher, young Josh Lubowiecki.
Well, we know this young fella can bat. He was in the lineup as the DP, but he's got an extra job to do now in the team.
Outside edge, first pitch. Great rate of knots on the drop ball. Same spot, same result. Back to
That
back.
is absolutely slicing off just a sliver of home plate, isn't it?
Just not afraid to go at these hitters at the moment is Daniel Chapman. Don't worry about throwing a waste pitch. That one just on the edge of the pipeline.
Well, possibly a good sign. That was the rising ball again, and Lubowiski got a decent piece of that.
Dagger. Waste pitch though up top.
I think how many times on one hand can you count the amount of times a guy's been able to stay off that rise ball? There's one right there.
1 ball and 2 strikes here on Lubowiski. Low lifter in the kitchen sink. He managed to foul that one off. Feels like to me he's setting up that drop ball on the outside again.
Yep, he's worked high, he's worked inside, he's had 2 pitches on the outside. The setup from the catcher is right there.
Just velocity at its maximum here from Daniel Chapman. That drop ball hurling. And Lubowiski could just spoil it off, heading towards his own dugout.
That's a nice job by Lubowiski. He's getting Chapman to go deep into a count here, which is something he hasn't done in the ball game so far.
Up the middle. And it's good.
Up the middle.
No chance of a play here.
But can't get the draw.
And looks like there's a defensive change too. We'll just get that for you in a second. No chance of a play by the second baseman. We had Lewis Gerard listed as a starting second baseman, but out there in the field is Brock Evans. And he had a range up the middle. Lubowiski was too quick to go to first base.
2 down, that's going to bring us back.
So an infield single, 2 hits through 2 innings here. Papanui on the start on Chapman.
It's actually not a bad production from their hitters. They've had a couple of other guys who have had fouls come off the meat of the bat, so they are seeing it.
Inside. Seeing that one, Josh Gladding will take that one off the elbow guard. I'll tell you what, one of those Eastern protection elbow guards, it's worth its weight in gold when Chapman's thrown at you.
I'd be 99% sure that that exact same scenario happened in the last game with Josh Gladding, and it copped him right on that elbow guard as well. That time off the pitching of Thomas Anoka.
Josh Dixon now, centre fielder. Pop and speed. Flowers at the first pitch down the third baseline. 2 ducks on the pond here for Dixon.
Well, he's managed to collect 5 hits in the tournament so far. His on-base percentage is a healthy 300. Batting 263, so that's not too bad either.
Steps back in to go to work. The centre fielder for Yali Papanui. Daggers high, gets away from early behind the dish. And the runners will advance 60 feet now in scoring position. Bishop at 3 and running at second base. Coming in for Mount Albert Ramblers. I'm pretty sure that's Toby Milne, the designated runner that came in for Lubowiski. We'll just check that. Outside edge is good. Dixon.
2 out. It's the 2 out catcher rule.
It could be.
Yep. So it'll be the last out.
Foul away, back to the car park. Back to the bench.
Well, we talked about the crowd that'll build during the game. We're seeing a few teams filter in now after they've finished their tournament. It's filling up nicely out in the outfield here in a beautiful sunny Fraser Park.
17 club sides from all over New Zealand came to participate in the 2021 edition. And that one's on the outside edge. Looked close to the top of the zone. Close enough. 3 strikeouts by Watts in the bottom of the first innings. 3 strikeouts by Chapman in the top of the second. Pitches look good. We'll find out how we go in the rest of this one. It is Ramblers leading 2-0. Bottom 2 coming up.
I know my home is here with you. There's a world to behold. It's a better home you own with golden homes.
For Ramblers, it's number 50. Left
Welcome
fielder,
back, ladies and gentlemen,
Ross.
to Fraser Ballpark here, bottom of the second innings. And we've got plenty of action going on here. Mount Albert Ramblers struck for 2 on a loaded bases pass ball in the bottom of the first innings. Callum Muir gets the first ground ball, takes care of business here in the bottom of the second.
Bit of a sketchy throw from Callum Muir there, but it got the job done. Maddox Rice heading back to the dugout. It's exactly what the doctor ordered for Papanui.
Tell you what, Gazza, I was the worst at throwing the ball when I used to play, but I always said, if I got the out, doesn't matter, buddy, it's still like 5-3 or whatever.
Hang about.
You don't draw a
the worst
picture.
thrower? You were a catcher.
I know. Trying to hide me somewhere.
Don't know if catch is exactly the place you want to hide your worst thrower.
I just pretended the whole career, pretty
There's
much.
usually a close, quiet corner in the dugout for the worst thrower.
I tell you who's not a bad thrower. That's Floyd Nola now up to bat.
Absolutely, he has been used into the in the order as a pitcher.
Floyd Nolan gets a piece, sending it to right field.
This is back. One bounce onto the fence. Floyd Nola's rounding 2, hitting for third base. Choo choo! It's an overthrow as well. He'll stay in the station at third base. Floyd Nola gets things cracking with a stand-up triple here in the bottom of the second.
Well, here I was just about to extol his virtues as a utility in the lineup, and then he goes and proves me right by being a pitcher and having an awesome hit in the ball game.
Inside out swing that gets over the head and outstretched glove of the right fielder Jackson Watt. He just put on the afterburners, didn't he, Nola?
Oh, he's got some gas. I've seen him play quite a bit this year. He picked up for Hutt Valley in the PK Tournament Classic recently, did a lion's share of the pitching for them, and also led the batting stats for them.
Max early. Tell you what, this is only a youngster coming through. First season as a starter in the top side for Mount Albert Ramblers, but boy, oh boy, does he come with a big splash here in Lower Hutt.
I first saw him at the Under-18 tournament in Palmerston North about a year ago. So, is he still 17 or is he 18?
Don't know, but
He's got some talent though.
there's not many whiskers in that beard of his, that's for sure, but his hitting has been outstanding.
Oh, it sure has. I mean, in this company, in this lineup, he's had 5 hits in the tournament. He's on base percentage 583. He's 18 years old, and get this. And there's another one. His ERA is 500.
Infield hit from Max early, and Mount Albert Ramblers with something cooking in the kitchen. 1 out and runners are coast to coast.
The centre fielder, Bradley Bennett.
They this for Mount Albert Ramblers, without being disrespectful to Papanui, is nearly cruise mode for them. They're just getting the runners out on the base, moving them from station to station, getting them in scoring position, and it will be interesting to see if they can convert.
Be interesting to see the strategy right here with 1 out and runners in the corners here. But we're back to the top of the shop and Bradley Bennett. Nathan Nuku, as you know, is a mastermind. The game of softball is like a chessboard, isn't it?
Absolutely. Bradley Bennett made it out onto the bases in the first inning, so here we are back at the top of their order. They're having another go at Nathan Watt. He's already seen him once, so in this situation, advantage better.
Stroke the ball, line drive to centre field. Start off this ball game in the bottom of the first innings. Rise ball, misses it. Goes straight up. No one's calling for it.
Nice thinking by Lubowski. He almost forgot about the runner at 3.
Centimetres in play.
Tell you what, though, that ball was high. The sun is behind home plate in a high arc here. All I can think of is it shielded Callum Bishop's eyes, because that's got to be first baseman's ball all day long.
All day long, and there were 3 of them near it in the end, and it fell right in the middle of the triangle.
We always know there's a catcher, that ball's going to spiral back into the infield. It did exactly that to Lube Whiskey. So an infield hit, an unusual one for Bennett, loads the bases for the shortstop Cole Evans.
Cole Evans, of course, 8 RBIs for his team and batting .389. I mean, it says it all for him. A shade under 400, 1 hit off 400 batting average, and he's got loaded bases and only 1 out in front of him.
Infielders in here with 1 out, loaded bases. Pardarello and Finney at shortstop and second. Rise ball on the letters that Evans takes a knee, maybe a knee too low as that one pops up and over the backstop fence.
Just maybe a little bit of a lack of communication in that pop fly there in the infield. You and I are not far away from the action, and I certainly didn't hear anyone talking.
I just don't think they saw it. That sun, I just don't think they saw the ball.
Up there.
Hard hit ball for the 5-6 hole. In comes one. The designated runner's got to play at the plate. No, they'll cut it off. They've got Bennett in a rundown now between second and third. 3 throws. Muir puts on the gas and makes the tag, but not before Mount Albert Ramblers played 2 more runs on that hit from Evans. They now lead the ball game 4-0.
I think Bennett just saw a little bit of a freight train running towards him there. Callum Muir, for a third baseman, is built like a Canterbury prop, and he sure can move as well. So I think in the end, Bennett just gave that one up. I surrender.
Mount Albert Ramblers, as you mentioned, if they get a whiff for an opportunity, they tend to take it. We saw it yesterday against Auckland United. The game seemed to be tight. All of a sudden, come the third and the fourth, or the fourth and the fifth innings, they put the hammer down and run-ruled United last night.
Well, we saw the recent NFC tournament at ELE Stadium in North Harbour at Rosedale Park, where the bulk of this Mount Albert Ramblers team were involved in that, representing Auckland, and then you add the cream of the crop from the other teams in the Auckland competition. But to my mind, in that tournament, Auckland were in a class of their own.
Rise ball outside, and Nukunuku's patient, allows that to sneak away.
Well, with a runner on 2 and him up to bat, he's been in this every situation in a softball game a million times. And I dare to say his batting average at a flat 600 has probably been repeated in just about every competition he's played, possibly even up to and including the Black Sox.
Back to 2. Diving head first in, just safe here. But I'll tell you what, Ben Watts had a duck for cover.
Well, young Lube Whiskey, we know how good an arm Nathan Watts got when he's out there, but that got out there in a hurry as well. Ben Watt being very careful around Nathan as well. And there he goes.
Nukunuku, same as last at-bat there. Once they didn't want to throw it in, was all outside, and he'll take the invite every time. 2 walks in the match here for Nukunuku.
Our Papanui are no slouches when it comes to doing their preparation, and they'll know what Nathan Nukunuku's done in the tournament. They'll be planning for it, and that time, Ben Watt not just willing not to put it anywhere near the strike zone.
They did the same last time. There was a runner on 2, first base open, and they pitched around Nukunuku, but that didn't pay off though, because they loaded the bases later than the pass ball to Giroud. Nukunuku was one of those first 2 runs that scored.
Yeah, he scampered into home from second base, and that's that sniff that we've always talked about that Ramblers need in a ball game.
Gaz, I want to ask the question here, the replacement of catcher and the young Josh Lubweski, what must be going through his mind?
Well, there's a couple of things. The first thing is if an injury were to happen, he probably knew he was going to be the go-to man. So he's the backup catcher. He was in the DP position, so he's coming out of the dugout. His first and foremost is obviously the job he's been given to do at the start of the game, because you don't plan for an injury like what happened to Nathan. From what I've seen so far, he's handling it very well. It wasn't his fault, the drop ball out in the infield on the pop fly. That was the first base job to go for that all day. So, yep, I think fully capable of doing the job. Maybe his game management might not be quite up to Nathan's because he's got a lot more experience, but certainly he's going to have to learn on the job here.
Connor Peden, big opportunity here for Mount Albert Ramblers to put a nail in that wooden box possibly early in this one.
Connor Peden already a battery of players from Mount Albert Ramblers who have 6 RBIs in the tournament, and he's another one. So once again, the pressure's on Ben Watt to bring up the accuracy with the pitching.
Ben Watts, the cap with a big shade over his face here, trying to keep cool. Connor Peden, that was almost a save me swing as he pulls that one down the line.
Well, that's been a money pitch for Ben Watts, that one on the inside half of the plate, and it looked to me like no matter where it was going off the bat, Connor Peden wasn't letting it get past him. He's telling the pitcher there, that one's not sneaking through me.
Connor Peden hit to third base. His first at bat in the first innings.
Hits with power. So if he does get a hold of this, similar to Cullen Compain and the Auckland United lineup.
Just see there, Gazza. Ben Watts telling the catcher just to slow a little here. Wants to dictate the pace, and there you go. He wanted to throw the cutter, and he wanted to take his time about it. He needed a quality pitch because Mount Albert Ramblers, they've come out of the gates firing, haven't they? 2 in the first, 2 in the second on Cole Evans' hit to left field. 4-0, it is Ramblers leading. We'll be back with the top of the third in just a short moment.
Look, I've heard that song is a big jam, whanama. Paki Paki Mai, featuring, Pere Wihungi, Kairangi I Hamaira, all the rest of them, whanama. But look, it's my time to head out of here. Kua tautua mō ki te hoki ki te kanga. But tomorrow, I want to give you a bit more information on the NFC softball tournament. Now, it's going down from Thursday to Sunday, kicking off at Fraser Park this week, whanama. And look, it's got all the best people from all little hair. So we've got all the best from the...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In the top of the third innings, it'll be Iali Papanui looking to find a rhythm, find a way, somehow, some way, to get themselves back in the action. And they've had to make a change. Remember, Nathan Watt took a blasting foul tip off the toe that's retired him to the dugout. He hasn't moved. I've watched him the whole time in the dugout here since. And they've had to bring in a pinch hitter into the ball game. He'll be the new DP.
Number 17, Jaden Britt, comes in. He's an able replacement. He hasn't done a huge amount of work in this tournament, so it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the batting lineup. Only 8 at-bats in the tournament so far. These Papanui batters, they are actually trying to lay off pitches. I know it's hard with a pitcher of Chapman's experience and speed, but they are trying to lay off.
It's difficult. Of course, it's a split-second decision, isn't it, whether to go at it or not to go at it. And then you've actually got to hit it as well, right?
Well, that's the other sort of flip of the coin, isn't it? You lay off the bad ones, you hit the good ones, and therein lies the rub for Papanui.
And Britt goes down on strikes here in the top of the third inning.
For another cutting dagger.
Daniel Chapman 5 on the day now. Mitchell Finney. It was a thorn on the side here with 2 hits for Papanui so far, one of them going to the second baseman.
We've already mentioned Mitchell Finney and his stats. He's going pretty well for Papanui. He's a quality player. He's a great infield fielder.
Okay, let's go.
Excellent base runner when he does get out there.
Taking a little bit of time here, second time through the order, Nathan Nukunuku. Just instructing how he wants to see things done. Drop ball is outside. Mitchell Finney, one of those players, not a lot to him, but boy, his technique, getting the bat speed through the zone with good contact.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, if he does get that ball out into the infield or even a little bit into the outfield, look out, he can motor. You get down that first base line like a hairy billy goat.
I don't know where to go with the hairy billy coat, apart from like the non-hairy billy coat, but I'll tell you what, we'll just leave that one right there.
Papanui from the South Island. I'm originally from the South Island, so they'll know what I'm talking about.
Goat farmer from way back. 3 balls to Finney. One that's in the bottom of the zone. I tell you what, Finney is fast though. The start of the tournament, that batting helmet was blue. He's been running so fast, and streaks of the paint have come off. Hard hit ball. Told you he's got some pop. It's going back. Baby, that's over the track. The youngster with precision and power and bat speed. Mitchell Finney answers with a home run here in the top of the third innings.
What an absolute beautiful strike. There was the money ball from Chapman. He went for the riser, this time on the inside of the left-handed batter, and he just rainbowed it over the outfield fence for a wonderful solo home run, and hopefully getting things started and back in this ball game for ELE Papanui.
4 runs to 1 now. The scoreline between these two great squads, one from Auckland, one from Christchurch. ELE Papanui, 5-time reigning Christchurch champion.
Well, they've dominated Canterbury softball in recent years, and I'm not sure if Jackson Hutt necessarily agreed with that pitch. It was cut right across that outside corner of the plate.
I don't know if you can find a hitter that doesn't swing at a pitch that's called a strike that he likes it, that's for sure. But a big swing right there from the hammer, that comes right back into the kitchen sink.
That ball did finish a long way in the catcher's glove off the plate, but it was curving away from the plate the whole way. So by the time it takes a corner...
Check swing, they'll go down to first base to check it. Lance Brown says no swing.
It's a strike all day to umpire Porteous.
Check swing, looking to dunk it in the outfield, and he does. Jackson Watt, professional hitting here. Remember, he got called for a pitch that was on the outer edge of the plate, maybe a smidge off. He made the adjustment, pushed it away. Fool me once, okay. Fool me twice, that's on me. Doesn't fool him the second time.
Yeah, it's a great adjustment to that outside pitch. If he'd left that up to umpire Porteous, he'd be in the dugout. So he's hit that beautifully.
Bartarello has found form big time in the last 2 days of play here.
Well, this is a dangerous time for Chapman and the rest of the Ramblers team. Nathan Nukunuku must have a few things going through his mind right now, except he's exchanging a little bit of a joke with Jacko out on first base. But no, Bartarello, he lit up the last game for Papanui and was definitely a huge factor in them being here in this grand final.
Tyrone Bartarello slashes at the first pitch down the line. The second pitch, I should say. 2 strikes on him now. Drop ball gets away from the zone and gets away from early behind the dish.
Here they come. Papanui.
The hammer Watson goes down to second base now in scoring position for the slugger, Bartarello. Gary Rowe, here we can hear the trumpets playing. Was that the horns in the hills of the Billy Goats?
Nah, it's my 10 guitars, mate.
Pops this one up, hoping for it to stay foul.
And track nicely.
And they make the catch, but Jackson Watt with a heads-up play here. No one covering third base. Scampers 60 feet for free.
Now, I'm not a statistician, but I'd venture to suggest if Ramblers infield have made an error all tournament, you'd probably struggle to find it. But in the grand final, I'll go call that an error.
You did right. In the book, it's not an error, but tactically, no one covering third base. It is a pass ball allows Papanui to halve the score here. 4-1 at this point. Callum Muir now jumps in the batter's box. Can't hold back on a good dagger rise ball.
Strikes the call.
Callum Muir, he's been pretty handy for Papanui. The batting average is only 217, so once again, though, cometh the out because we saw it with the bat of Lou.
There's Chapman, and he shuts the door on another scoring opportunity, but it was Mitchell Finney that does get Papanui off the canvas. The score now 4-1. Bottom of the third innings, more action coming to you here live from the Elite Group Men's Open Club National Championship from Fraser Ballpark in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. They call it a fight back. When you're against the ropes, you're going to do whatever it takes, and that's what Eli Papanui did through Mitchell Finney. In the top of the third innings, 4-1 now to Mount Albert Ramblers.
Stop those ones.
Well, we saw Callum Muir head to the dugout in that last innings chopper. He was extremely angry with himself. And in that situation, with a runner in scoring position, I think they let an opportunity go there.
Quality hitters do that to themselves, don't they? But they've got to park it, move on. There's a lot of the grand final to come here. One down the line, it's inside two, running down the corner. There's a rabbit loose as it rattles around the cage, and it's a lead-off standing double to Reese Evans here in the bottom of the third innings.
What a fantastic piece of hitting, just to flirt with the foul ball line down third base there. That's an awesome swing of the bat from Reese Evans. Once again, Mount Albert Ramblers, they're on the attack.
On second base, it's going to bring up number 21.
We mentioned earlier there was a change in the lineup. Something happened to Lewis Gerard, and he was replaced by Brock Evans. He now will get his first at-bat in this contest.
Brock Evans, he's had 5 games in the tournament, 13 plate appearances. He's batting very well, 417.
Not a bad substitution off the bench at second base, is it, Gaza?
Absolutely. But who in this Ramblers batting lineup doesn't bat well?
The younger brother of the trio of Evans, crowding the infield now. Brother Cole at shortstop, brother Reese at third base, fielding-wise, but now Reese is running at second base in scoring position. No
Evans.
outs here in the bottom of the third innings.
Well, Evans, and this young man's already looking every bit ready for higher honours. His batting average would suggest it. His fielding would suggest it. We've just got the three gentlemen out on the outfield that need to do it.
Running slap at 10. Also something different with the three brothers. Both Reese and Cole are right-handed, but Brock, the only lefty in the trio.
Oh, he said, I'm not going to be like my brothers. I'll just get compared to them. And do you want to be compared to Cole Evans?
To be fair, he's got the best hairstyle out of the three of them as well, young Brock. Ben Watts continues to work here, starting pitcher for Eli Papanui.
Swing.
Drop ball is hard and heavy. Takes care of Evans this time. One away. That'll bring up the bat. Maddox Rice, the left fielder.
Number 15, left fielder.
Well, the
Rice.
pitching of Ben Watt, he's been fantastic really throughout the whole tournament, and he continues to shake off the hits and just keeps getting back into the zone.
4 strikeouts on the day from Ben Watt so far as we go through this one. Any problem for Ben Watts, though? We know he's a workhorse, Gazza.
Yep.
He's given up 7 hits already.
Yeah, well, this is a grand final against the possibly the best team in the tournament. That's still to remain to be decided, but certainly the second best, maybe the first best. We'll see, but 7 hits in a grand final, that's possibly too many to do.
Inside out swing pops up. Finney will shield the sun, but he
there's
can't shield it enough. We saw that before with a pop up in front of the catcher, Lubuski. No one could see the ball. Finney shields it with his glove, and I think that's the problem right there. If you use your glove to shield that ball, as soon as you bring the glove down to catch it, the sun comes into the action. You've got to use your throwing hand to
Use
shield
your
it.
throwing hand to shield it, yep. We've seen 2 pop flies in the infield go to ground now. They'll kick themselves for that. Sun or no sun, these guys are good enough to get those. I realise it's probably, he's got a bit of sun flash there. He temporarily couldn't see properly.
Gazza, I'm no official scorer, and I don't know if it actually touched Finney on the way down. If it doesn't, it's ruled a hit. If it does, it's ruled an error.
Oh, there you go. So there we are.
We just put an error on the sun. How about that? Floyd Nola.
Because we know what he did at his last at-bat. He put one out towards the right field fence. A long way out to the right field fence for a standing triple.
Got to take your opportunities here. We've seen 2 blemishes on those pop-ups from El Papanui, not securing the ball. And you just can't give a free pass to this Mount Albert Ramblers side. Cutter is good. It's been one of his best pitches today, and he finishes off Nola with it this time.
It absolutely just disappeared from view, that pitch.
5 strikeouts on the day for Ben Watts. When he's got it going and revving it well, it is on point. Don't you worry about that. Max Early.
I'm pretty sure he'd trade all 5 of those strikeouts for a couple of those runs back.
It's only 4 runs to 1 here. With the power of Papanui's bat, they can erase that in a heartbeat. But they'll have to get through early first who goes at the first pitch.
Strike 1.
Runners at 1 or 2, 2 out. The job description here is fairly simple. Oh, and that's just a little bit of inexperience from Lubiewski. We saw a huge lead-off out there by Brock Evans. And Lubiewski took the bait, threw it straight to 2, giving the runner everything he needed to scamper across to 3.
Give them a whim, give them an opportunity. They'll take advantage. Now the Ramblers are really trying to take advantage here. No runs yet in the bottom of the third innings. They do have 2 outs. Inside, rise ball pops up, comes back to the screen.
Well, Lubiuski, he's shown us he's a terrific young man, terrific young player. But experience-wise, I'm not sure that that's something that Nathan Watt would have done.
Right. Strike two. Swing. Tag.
Nice job from Nathan Watt to strike out Floyd Nola under enormous pressure once again from the Ramblers runners.
Oh, Ben Watts has done it for the first time here. Stop Mount Ramblers from scoring a run. Can that be the catalyst for the momentum shift? We'll find out when we come back. The top of the fourth innings, it'll be Callum Bishop, Josh Lubiuski and Josh Gladding. 1, 2, 3 here for the boys from Christchurch in just a moment.
Prices so low, we've come a long way since our first TV ad. No, we haven't. They're still simple and low budget, so we can keep delivering you the lowest prices possible. Pack and save. Our policy, New Zealand's lowest food prices.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the fourth innings. Papanui won the third. Home run to Finney, and then a defensive perfect innings from Ben Watts as he shuts the door on Mount Albert Ramblers. Callum Bishop, it's his opportunity now to keep this South Island train rolling.
Well, they have got a little bit of momentum going. I mean, they had an opportunity to have even more momentum going, and we saw what Muir thought about that on his way to the dugout when he got struck out. But Lubiuski coming up next has already had a hit in the ball game. Callum Bishop is no slouch as well. They need people out there 60 feet away. First base can seem a long way when you've got Daniel Chapman in front of you.
This one fouls back. A bit of communication between Bishop and Lubiuski on the on-deck circle there. Sharing a little intel, maybe something that I've just spotted with Chapman's delivery. Trying to pick the treasure chest. Rise ball on the outside edge popped up.
Sending it to left field where Maddox Rice is under it.
And left fielder Maddox Rice will make that one with two hands.
Oh, we'll see if there's something to be said about that, because it was lefty giving advice to righty. So
maybe you said swing left-handed, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Stand on the other side of the plate.
Josh Lubiuski, I'll tell you what, he can swing any way he likes. Got himself a single to second base back in the second innings. 3 hits on the day. He's got one of them.
Yeah, well, 3 hits is not too bad. I'm sure Daniel Chapman's pitched plenty of games that have had less than that in it. But at the moment, it's only meant 1 run for Papanui.
The boat's getting wider as that one clips the outside edge. And Lubiuski knows it as well. He couldn't hold back on that outside hard heat. And he'll be the 7th victim from Daniel Chapman here via the strikeout.
Well, we saw Lubiuski foul off a couple of those outside pitches from Chapman in his last at-bat. We also saw Jackson get out there and put one down the first base line. Chapman's made the adjustment now, and he put it just a few centimetres wider than that again. And, of course, he made Lubiuski chase it.
Josh Gladding hit by pitch in the second innings. Sees more than one pitch this time. Second pitch is right down Main Street.
Second time today he's been hitting that elbow pad. Is it the biggest elbow pad in New Zealand?
I'll tell you what, it'd be a big bruise underneath. Rise ball gets away from Chapman, and early the catcher.
One ball, 2 strikes.
1 and 2, back to the action here. And just gets enough on it. Keep alive in this at-bat is young Gladding.
Well, maybe there's something needed by Papanui to break up the Ramblers' rhythm, because they're just in a groove, in a zone at the moment.
Full of strikeouts. And with 3 up.
Well, he just revs it up a couple more kilometres an hour, doesn't he, Chapman? 8 strikeouts on the day, 2 here in the top of the 4th innings. We'll go to the bottom. Mount Albert Ramblers leading 4 runs to 1.
Within the ELE group, we have a range of companies and a very wide range of people. We have 3 core values: growing together. That means with our staff, our stakeholders, and of course with people like you, our customers. Building tomorrow today to build a better tomorrow for us and our customers. And thirdly, keeping it real. Doing things that are going to work for everybody and being mindful of the fact that we're not a corporate, we still have a family feel about our business.
At Pack and Save, we're always looking for ways to cut costs and save you money. So we're taking all the yellow out of this ad. Hit it, guys! Yeah, that might be a bit much. Can we put a little... That's better. Pack and Save, our policy, New Zealand's lowest food prices.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're being in for a treat here in game number 69. It's the big one, the grand final of the ELE Group Men's Open Club National Championship. I'm Jason Kirby's aka Chopper. Joining me in the booth from the beginning here, Gary Grohl, one of the softball specialists, not only here locally but around the country. Great to have his talent in the booth. Great to have you along for this one. We appreciate your viewership. Hope you're enjoying the grand final. Mount Albert Ramblers leading the ball game at this point, 4 runs to 1.
Top of the shop for Mount Albert Ramblers. Bradley Bennett up to bat. And another dangerous moment for Papanui. They've done a good job of stemming the flow in the last innings and a half.
Big story in this match. First innings. Nathan Nuku batting in the bottom of the first innings. Third batter, a foul tip comes off on a drop ball and collects the toe of the starting catcher, Nathan White. Had to be retired from the game. He's in the dugout. Has been unable to move since then. Josh Lubowiski's taken over behind the dish and done a fine job, the youngster, since coming into the ball game. But he's got to be a mastermind, doesn't he, Gazza? Because this Mount Albert Ramblers team, as you mentioned, top of the shop, it's the 3rd time through the lineup, 3rd time looking at Ben Watts.
Well, this is right, and Ben Watts has been a pitcher, especially in the previous game against Auckland United, where the deeper it went, the better he seemed to get. But to my mind, form-wise, this Mount Albert Ramblers team are batting on another level to pretty much most of the other teams in the tournament, which means that Ben Watt is going to have to pitch on another level than where he's been at so far in the tournament.
3rd walk of the game from Ben Watts. Starts off the bottom of the 4th innings. And I'll go to the danger man now. Cole Evans struck out in the first. A double to left field. Played to 2 runs in the second. First pitch he sees is a drop ball outside.
Cole Evans is another one that could extend this lead with one swing of the bat. But not just that, if he's not going for the fence, it's intelligent batting as well.
One gets away from Watts and Lubowiski at the same time, so that'll allow Bennett to go down to second base. Time is called. Watts, after the delivery, just kind of foul on his right knee to the right side of him, of the pitching plate. And everyone just making sure he's okay. He says, yeah, I'm fine. I tell you what, it'll take a bulldozer, a dump truck, and Optimus Prime to pull Ben Watts off the mound. He's a workhorse,
Yeah, even Nathan Watt, who, as I said, I managed to have a chat to just after their last game against Auckland United, called him an Iron Man, and he's not far off it.
Big swing here from Evans and a nice running catch. The big throw saves the day. Looked deep enough for a sacrifice fly from second, as you saw Josh Gladding going a long way to his left to make that over his head.
Well, that was a brilliant catch. I mean, you call that was that long enough for a sacrifice fly? If it was any longer, it would be over the fence. Nathan Nuku, a little smile on his face. Is he relaxed at this time of the game at the moment for a grand final or what?
I'll tell you what, catches commonly as they come through their career work on, if you can talk to the batter and the batter answers you, you've got them off their game. Nathan Nuku steps in and talks to the catcher first. I think he's happy to put the catcher off his game with a smirk on his face.
Well, the catcher probably answered him and immediately thought, yeah, I've got you, son.
Nuku. Signature Silver Fern and the high leg kick to get ready. Rise ball. They've wanted nothing to do with him for the first two at-bats.
Well, it's an ideal situation for Nato. You're looking at a runner 60 feet away from scoring another run for the team, and a guy who gets on base nearly, almost once every time he's up there.
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's insane what Nathan Nuku has done here in the 2021 edition of the LA Group Men's Open Club National Championship.
Well, he's declared publicly that he's not finished with his international aspirations. And looking at the numbers he's putting up here in the Club Nationals in front of the selectors, who would argue against him?
Be interesting.
Not just numbers, though, but it's the experience he brings to the party.
He felt it was time to move on after the Czech Republic. Fourth place finish for the Golden Home Black Sox. First time in a very long time they did not finish on the podium.
I'm pretty sure he would consider fourth place, knowing how competitive that man is, unfinished business.
Pretty much last place in his mind, that's for sure.
In his mind, anything but first is last place.
Hitters count for Nuku now, 3-1. Slow roller that goes between the legs of Bennett, but in foul territory to be fair. Otherwise could have been a little bit of interference in the fielding of Callum Muir at third base.
If that had been a fair ball, I'm pretty sure that probably would have been out.
Nuku grabs his weapon. 30 ounce. Everyone knows it these days. Swings a big club. Does Nuku. But does it so successfully. Full count now. Bennett at third base. Just one away here in the bottom of the fourth innings.
And there you go. Nathan doing what Nathan does. He's standing up at first base 60 feet away, exactly as the stats suggest he should.
Is it conference or do you want to just look about his injury?
Now, I've got a little snippet of
You
info
just
for
want to
you.
check about his injury? Just checking injury. Okay, we're going to talk about it. Don't say anything else about it.
He's good? Yeah. I'm good. Work hard. All right, back him up. Umpires back him up, boys. Job. Yeah, good zone. Got a good zone here.
Not that.
Gazza, that was perfect. That was perfect. There was a couple of things happening there. Carl McElroy, head coach for ELE Papanui, comes out to check on his pitcher, make sure he's not injured. But in my mind, I think he's giving him a breather.
Yep.
But he took the opportunity as Mark Porteous followed him all the way out there, says to his guys, look, the umpire's calling a good game, boys. It's got a great zone. That's one of those ones. Put it in the bank for later.
Yeah, put it in the bank for later. When there's a close call, it might just go our way.
Back to the action now. Runners coast to coast here. Connor Peden will get his third look. Single to third base back in the first innings. A strikeout in the second. Ramblers leading 4 runs to 1 at this point.
Runners on the corner chop with Connor Peden up to bat.
This one fouls back.
Didn't try and overswing that one. He's just trying to get it out there.
Well, I understand Damien Collins not far away for an interview. Get an inside look at what these teams are contemplating and maybe some perspective from one of the fans as well. We'll bring that to you shortly. Rise ball outside. Pedens, fastidious with the strikes under this point. He knows it's about a quality at bat.
I was just about to give a shout out to one of the Pottera City United players, the impregnable Gene Lutton, who, other than COVID last year, has played 30 club nationals in a row.
30, that's impressive, isn't it?
Absolutely amazing, I think.
First base, looking for a double play. And
He's tested,
Bennett
he got
is...
us, all right.
Help me.
Yeah, no. I'd love to, man.
Oh, Ben Watts. Brilliant. Just simply brilliant. We saw him earlier on in the match where he said, boy, catchers should wear steel caps. Well, this one, as we saw Bennett slide in for the 5th run of the ball game for Mount Albert Ramblers, he says to home plate umpire Mark Portis, help me one time. And he's like, I know.
Well,
5 runs to 1
it
now.
just proves that pitchers are not only the smartest people out on a diamond, we're also the wittiest. I'm sure Damien Collins will agree with me. Well-known pitcher in the Hutt Valley himself.
Back to the action here, third baseman, Reese Evans. Mixed bag today, strikeout in the first and a double to left field in the third. Goes at the first pitch. This is high. Will that sun come into play? Gladding makes a long run from left field and makes a fine catch here. That'll complete the bottom of the 4th innings, but not before some aggressive base running by Mount Albert Ramblers on the back of 2 walks here issued from Ben Watts. Maybe the gas is starting to run a little low. Can he hold on? Can Papanui hold on? If they can do it offensively, maybe they have a chance. Top 5 coming up next.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investec Super Rugby titles. Don't let the heels fool you. Wendy crushed 2 of the biggest names in men's tennis to go all the way at Wimbledon. Tony, one of New Zealand's most impressive multi-sport players. Try playing and taking out a rugby league grand final, a grand slam, and the New Zealand Cup all at once. Mary Adams came from nothing to take Cleveland to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally, meet Richard Sykes, a man with many loves, 80s hip-hop.
Top of the 5th innings, Eli Papanui set up the centre fielder Josh Dixon. The catcher was replaced by Jaden Britt, the now designated player, hitting 2, and second baseman Mitchell Finney. 1, 2, 3. Papanui trailing by 4 runs at this point.
Yeah, well, the equation for Papanui is looking pretty dire at the moment. They've got to score 3 to get back on even terms. So you're starting to get to an area where doing it in ones is going to likely not be enough. So they need to score a couple, and they need to score a couple in a hurry.
Daniel Chapman's been very miserly today, giving up 3 hits but 8 strikeouts. And at the moment, almost looks like he's in cruise control.
Well, that's what I mentioned in the last innings. It looks like Ramblers have just got themselves into a groove. They're relaxed. You've seen Nathan out there chatting with people. He's smiling. Papanui need to break that up. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it. They probably coming out and having a conference in the last inning was probably a good start.
9 strikeouts today from Daniel Chapman. Let's find out what Ricky Tricky Dicky Early thinks about that with Damien.
Thank you, Chopper. Yes, we're here with Softball New Zealand's Personality of the Year 2021. I had to chuck it out there, Ricky, mate. How have you found the tournament so far?
Yeah, it's been really, really good, especially the last couple of days where, like, Papanui is just epitomises the whole thing. They've been playing for their lives since yesterday morning, and, you know, in this game here, they're not going to lie down and roll over and play dead. They're just going to keep on fighting. So it's been great. Yeah, it's been good.
That's it. Mate, we usually get a couple of the dugouts to come out and have a talk, but it is grand final time. On top of the fifth, you guys are up 5-1. How's the feeling over in the bleachers in the maroon and yellow?
It doesn't feel comfortable at all. Like I say, these guys, they come back against AU this morning and Dodgers yesterday. They've just been, they're here to play, and they're not going to leave anything behind in Wellington before they fly home. So this isn't over till the last out's taken.
Well, we know what Ramblers can do, but what are they going to have to do to just take it up a notch here to take out this game?
Yeah, Chappie's just got to step it up a little bit. He's just struggling for rhythm. He's getting a couple of strikeouts and then getting a little bit wayward. We've sort of got the momentum back. Momentum's a big thing in softball or any sport, and we've just got to run back there just to keep them down. And if we can get through a 0 innings here and go and get another run, I think that can go a long way towards us trying to win this championship.
Well, Ricky, well said. We see another out behind us. We'll send it back to Chopper on this one. Thanks.
And Ricky, outstanding. Chapman needs to find his rhythm. Well, he's trying to do that here in the top of the fifth innings. Back-to-back strikeouts through the first two batters he faced, and the first pitch that Mitchell Finney just sees is a swing and a miss as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not what they need, but you are going to have to take a few strikeouts because it's inevitable Daniel Chapman's going to get them. So in between that, as Ricky Early just alluded to, there are a couple of wayward pitches. They're the ones you need to take advantage of.
Finney, remember the heroics today. A single to centre in the first innings, and a whip of the bat in the third with a home run over right field fence. So he has been a thorn in the side of Chapman for sure.
He has in this ball game, and as the coach for Papanui, you really can't plan your offense until one of your batters is standing up at first base or beyond.
Slow grounder, Evans is behind this one, and that'll retire the side. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the fifth innings. Mount Albert Ramblers leading 5 runs to 1. We come back in the bottom of the fifth.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system, and Zog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home, your own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
It's been an outstanding match-up. Game 69 of the schedule. The grand final of the LE Group Men's Open Club National Championship. First pitch goes straight back into Whites. No chance for him to be the reactional grab
Time.
off Brock Evans. We're in the bottom of the fifth innings. Mount Albert Ramblers have scored frequently throughout this match so far. 2 in the first innings on a loaded bases pass ball with Lewis Gerard up to bat. And then in the second innings, it was Cole Evans driving in too with a professional hit to left field. Mitchell Finney did make the thorn in the side with a home run in the top of the third, but Ramblers answered right back on the back of 2 walks in the fourth innings to snabble a run on a fielder's choice. Going at the first pitch here is back, and it's trouble. There may be the sun because the centre fielder Dixon just slowed up on that one. It would have been an amazing catch if he had got there. I'll tell you what, I know there's 9 players on the field, but it feels like these 10, the sun seems to be helping out Ramblers a number of times.
There's a couple of factors there. The sun could have been one of them and probably was, but I've been out on that outfield fence, especially throughout that last game, and we don't get much sense of it, but that wind is a lot stronger out there than it is here at home plate. A good example of that would be the home run that Bartarillo hit in the Auckland United game. To us on the outfield fence, didn't look like it was going to make it. And all of a sudden it seemed to pick up an extra leg or two when it hit that jet stream, and it made it over the fence. So possibly the wind as well just bent that away from the centre fielder.
Well, that'll bring up the bat here. A replacement hitter for Floyd Nola. He's been a pinch hitter option all tournament, Seth Bourgeois. Big man is Bourgeois, as you can see. Looks like he can chop a tree down with one swing.
He's in a similar mould to third baseman out there, Kalamua. Seth Bourgeois, pinch hitting for Ramblers. He's another one that will get the job done for them, but hasn't had much opportunity in this tournament.
Next pitch is down low. That'll tie up the count now. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bourgeois. 2 ducks on the pond. Designated runner is out of first base. That is Oscar Clark. And Brock Evans, after that hit off Jackson Watt's torso, is standing on 2 in scoring position.
Well, you got to think what Nathan Nukunuku is thinking with this ball game now. I mean, they're only 3 runs ahead. It's not the end of the ball game yet by any means for Papanui, but he's beginning to bring in the bench, and we're in a grand final. I don't know. Is he thinking that they might have enough? And these guys just need to get a taste of grand final ball?
I'll tell you what, with the success of the pinch hitter of Bourgeois, they've managed to, when he has come into pinch hit, he has struck the ball hard and either scored runs or had a hit. So he's a good man to bring off the bench when the time comes right.
Well, there you go. At 5-1 in the ball game, Nathan Nukunuku's not going to think, well, we've got it won at any time in it then.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Of course, we're in the bottom of the 5th innings here. And if Mount Albert Ramblers can score 3 runs, they will terminate this grand final early. Bourgeois, the power in his bat, could do just that. This one inside, though, he'll pull down the line. Good location from Ben Watts.
Good location because, as you say, with the ability to finish the game possibly with 1 swing, that might be more akin to what the thinking of Nathan Nukunuku is in this one. As Bourgeois hit up on that one, he certainly was looking to get some air underneath between the ball and the ground.
Inside drop ball. Bourgeois leaves the knee there, and he will go down to first base and load the bases here for Mount Albert Ramblers. With no outs, it's danger time with a capital D for sure.
Well, it's the most dangerous time for Papanui because 1 swing of the bat could end the ball game.
And in the 9 hole, 2 out, 77.
What about Nathan?
Yep, and you got the red here.
You're right, Nathan Nukunuku. He's got the lineup card in his hand. He's going to make another change here. Max Hurley will get a break. Pinch hitter coming in is Liam Twigden, and Nathan Nukunuku just taking the time to explain exactly the situation and what he would like the outcome to be from Liam Twigden's bat.
Well, of course, NATO will first be looking to convert a run. So possibly with 1 out.
Just no outs, yeah, loaded bases. It was a single from Brock Evans, if you want to call it that comes off the torso of the pitcher, Watts. And then Maddox Rice gets aboard as well in the hit pitch to Bourgeois. They've re-entered Nola into run at first base. Now Liam Twigden, so big opportunity for Ramblers. Looking to tie this puppy up early. Nice ball is up and away.
Well, there you go. Ben Watt putting himself behind the 8 ball with that pitch alone. Every pitch changes the scenario for him as a pitcher. Coming back from too far behind with loaded bags, only 1 out, you almost guarantee there's a run going to score.
Ben Watts, we mentioned the tank maybe starting to empty, running on E a little here, struggling to find the strike zone. 3 balls and no strikes after the hit pitch to Bourgeois.
These are the moments when you probably start thinking, I no longer want to be a pitcher. It's an absolute terrible moment for him. Comes back in fine style, though.
You just got to trust your defence here, don't you, Gazza?
Absolutely.
Throw it low in the zone, hope for a ground ball, force play to home, and maybe double up. Twigden going to first base. Kev Papanui a chance to fight back with the sticks.
Well, that's it. It's the ground ball that he's looking for, and he's keeping it down. But at the moment, he's only found one pitch in the zone. Now 2. Nice job.
5 runs to 1 is the score here in the bottom of the 5th innings. The termination run is at first base, and Floyd Nola, if he comes across in this innings.
Absolutely, and now we've got a full count. We know where this pitch has got to be as well.
And it's good, right on the corner. Pitcher perfect. That's a pitcher bearing down right there. What character, what stamina, what determination. Ben Watts bringing his best.
Absolutely, that was fantastic by Ben Watts. You could forgive him for thinking that he's maybe a little bit tired, but certainly coming back the way he did in that thing, he can still dig deep enough to get the job done.
Ben Watts hasn't struck out a batter for 9 batters before that strikeout. He now has 7 on the day. Starts a drop ball right down Main Street to Bradley Bennett. Bradley Bennett, in my mind, is like one of those other people that the youngsters won't know. Greg Norman, the great white shark. When he smells blood, he goes hunting.
Yeah, Bradley Bennett's definitely gotten the job done for his team in this one. But with only 1 out, the scenario remains the same for Papanui and Ben Watts in particular.
Bennett, can he terminate it? Watts, can he continue it? Steps back now. Drop ball outside edge. Watt's got to make the catch. He does. Jackson and right field, and a professional throw to second base. He knows Nola's determination run keeps him over there. At least 3 bases away from that feat happening. So now, with 2 outs, Papanui do give up a run on the sacrifice fly, so the score moves to 6 runs to 1. And Cole Evans has an opportunity to try and close this match out.
Yeah, well, Papanui just need to buy an out now by any means they can and prevent that runner from running the 60 feet to home plate. For Ramblers, with 2 outs, the advantage is obviously still with them. Nathan Nukunuku's rung the changes regularly. Cole Evans lined one out to the centre field fence in his last at-bat. Was caught on the fence. But that's a dangerous hint at what he's capable of.
Cole Evans. Remember back in the second innings with the hit through the 5-6 hole to left field, plated 2 runs. He'll be looking for some elevation. He knows Watts is tiring. He knows there's an opportunity here. He's a gentleman for sure, is Cole Evans. And if he gets the opportunity, he will take it with open hands.
Doesn't let that prize ball go past him.
With plenty of humility, though. I think that's the test of a great player.
Oh, yeah, and I think he's probably still fairly young, Cole, but he's already established himself as one of the greats in this country. There's probably a lot of softball ahead of him yet in his career.
Right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball.
Power pitch on the inside edge, drop ball though, missing the zone. You can feel the effort from Ben Watts on every pitch now, can't you?
You can. It's written on his face. Since sometimes it betrays itself in his body language, and you know that he's in this situation where he's staring down the barrel of defeat in this innings.
Cutter, and the cutter is perfect.
And he can produce a pitch like that. I mean, Chop, look how slow he's walking off the diamond.
The cutter is perfect from Ben Watts. The heart couldn't be any bigger. Call him the Lion. Ben Watts, the Lion. Fantastic. He gives up a run, but that's it. Papa Nui have a chance. They've got to start fighting back, and they've got to start doing it at the top of the 6. We'll be back. More action here from the grand final. 6 runs to 1. It is Mount Albert Ramblers leading.
We and Star, the Saturday morning sports show. Have you ever hit a home run?
Yeah, I've had a couple, mate, because I always used to let the first one go wide. You ever get the player of the day?
For local sports talk from a local perspective, tune in to the Atiawa Toy FM Saturday morning sports show.
First pitch from Chapman to Jackson White, records the out from Cole Evans at shortstop. It's been clinical, it's been perfect, it's been stylish from Mount Albert Ramblers. They've had a clean slate in the field and they've been impressive with the bat, leading 6 runs. Top of the 6 innings, Tyrone Bartarello will need to be a glimmer in the eye of hope for the boys from Christchurch if we're going to have any chance here, Gaz.
Oh, look, Chop, until that last pitch is done, we see a little bit of a glimpse in the dugout for Papa Nui there. But until the last pitch is done, this is a Canterbury team. They're a proud association. They're not going to give it up. They're going to fight till the last pitch. And Tyrone Bartarelli, fully capable of helping his team get back in this ball game.
You make a good point, Gaz. Sorry, you make a very good point. This Iali Papa Nui team, you see the fight in the heart of Ben Watts on the hill there. Their team will follow that lead. They will not give up, and we know they can fight even when they're down.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, we saw them go up early against Auckland United. Auckland United came back and evened that ball game up, then went ahead 4-3, and then it just became a doozy of a battle from then onwards as Papa Nui felt the need to step that ball game up in that one. Well, they've got the same thing here. They need to step up a little bit and just match effort for effort.
Off the end of the bat from Bartarello, and Maddox Rice will secure the second out here in the top of the 6 innings.
But as I mentioned, you know, they need that production. They need those runners on base. And Ramblers and Daniel Chapman in particular are just so miserly when it comes to letting teams have opportunity with runners on base.
That's it, isn't it? Knowing when to and when not to and how to. Put all those together. Let's just listen to the change here. Caught the end of it. Hunter Simpson will come into the ball game for Callum Muir. A youngster, Junior Black Sox last year. And I'll tell you what, I got to spend a little bit of time in Christchurch this season and saw the way that he plays club softball down there. He is a step above the bar of the others in his age group for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And, of course, Thomas Marquero, who's his coach and is meticulous about his players, certainly will know what this young man can bring to the ballpark.
Coaching staff for Ilau Papa Nui is Carl McElroy and Carl Gould. The 2 Carls scratching their head trying to find a way to dig their way out of this.
You talk about him being a step above the age grade, and that's absolutely fine. But how many steps above the age grade is Daniel Chapman? That's the level he's got to come up to.
Drop ball down kitchen sink. Simply outstanding. 11 strikeouts on the day for Daniel Chapman. He has just retired the last 3 innings.
With Ramblers 6.
3 in a row, 3 up, 3 down. Boy, he is finding his range here. And Ramblers have another opportunity to terminate this one early. When we come back in the bottom of the 6 innings, it's 6 runs to 1. Mount Albert Ramblers over Papa Nui. What do you say about this Mount Albert Ramblers side? What do you say about them, Gazza? 2 runs in the first, 2 in the second, all on pressure. When they get in the batter's box, Mitchell Finney spikes 1 for Papanui in the top of the 3rd innings, but then another one in the 4th and the 5th. They've scored often, they have scored frequently. As this Mount Albert Ramblers side, they will turn to Taylor Hick now to step in for Nathan Nukunu to start off at the top of the 6th innings.
Absolutely the class of the tournament so far, and they're also proving it so far in the final. Papanui have been able to offer up not the sort of resistance that they have wanted. They've scored 1 run, but they haven't prevented Ramblers from scoring another 5. They get an opportunity, Ramblers, and we keep harping on about it, I know, but they give them a sniff and they just open that crack, and then they just keep gnawing away at it until they put you away in a ball game.
Something's got to be said, though, about the backbone of Papanui. We saw the matchup in the semi-final this morning against Auckland United. What a titanic matchup. They went extra innings. But they had to use a lot of gas in the tank, especially from Ben Watts, through every pitch in that match, and he's now doubled it up moments later here in the grand final for all the cookies in the cookie jar.
Well, you talk about the resilience of Papanui. Ben Watt also had to pitch that 7 o'clock game against Dodgers last night.
Taylor Hick. Apologies, Gary. Just a professional at-bat, outside drop ball. Tries not to do too much with it, dispatches it into centre field. Designated runner or 1 for him.
Just a Texas leaguer up the middle for Taylor Hick. He might sit back down in that dugout and they'll turn around and go, is that it?
6 runs to 1 here.
But then I just wanted to say, kudos to Papanui. They had to play that game last night at 7 o'clock. They had to turn up here and play another game at 10 o'clock. Then you've got to come and get yourself ready for a grand final. So, just based on that effort alone, they deserve to be here.
They sure do. Have done themselves proud. This game's not over by any means, but they have done themselves very, very proud.
Yeah, well, we always say in softball, it's not over till that last pitch is thrown, and anything can happen in between.
Hard hit. If this goes out, it's over.
Big.
Going, and then it's over. Over the fence, over the game. It is a 2-run shot by Connor Peden in the bottom of the 6th innings. That will bring the Mount Albert Ramblers out into the field and celebrate at home plate. They are the 2021 National Champions of the ELE Group Men's Open Clutch National Championship. They win the ball game here, 8 runs to 1 in dramatic fashion. Gazza, what a match.
Oh, what a way to finish it off. We say what a match. They've managed to close out Papanui early, but Ramblers have been the class of the tournament all the way through. They proved it in the first round. They proved it in the top 8. They've gone through with the unblemished record, and with the lineup that they've got, they've absolutely justified their favouritism for the tournament and taken out the whole ball of wax.
They've taken out the whole ball of wax. It brings the crowd to their feet in salute of a fine performance here by Mount Albert Ramblers as they've gone through the tournament undefeated. Gazza, that is by no means a mean feat.
Oh, that's the sort of thing that it'll be a statistician's delight. It'll be something that we can all remember from having been here to see it. You've seen the great Nathan Nukunuku. Will you see him back down here playing another Club Nationals at Fraser Park? Maybe, possibly not, but you'll see. But yeah, there's a lot of things to remember for a long time about this tournament, not the least of which are the champion, Mount Albert Ramblers.
Gary, we're going to come to you for the Ballpark Broadcasting Player of the Match here, and your thoughts, because offensively Mount Albert Ramblers were good, defensively they were also good. Your thoughts on the Player of the Match?
Oh, absolutely. We've seen the heroics of Connor Peden by closing out the match with a towering home run over left field, but of course there's another guy out there who toiled away magnificently for Mount Albert Ramblers and kept a very good batting lineup almost hidden from view in this one, and that was Daniel Chapman. I didn't keep an exact count of how many strikeouts he got, but for me, probably the player of the match along with Connor Peden. Daniel Chapman, Connor Peden.
Fantastic. There you go, the Ballpark Broadcasting Connor Peden, 2 from 4 today in the 2-run shot in the bottom of the 6th that wins it. Daniel Chapman, 3 hits, but 11 strikeouts in 6 innings of work. Dual honours for Ballpark Broadcasting's Player of the Match. It is the ELE Group Men's Open Club National Championship. It goes to Mount Albert Ramblers. Congratulations to Papanui. What a fight, what a tournament. The hammer, Ben Watts. Lots of respect for that young man out there. But it is Ramblers, the reign supreme for 2021. We'll go to break. We'll come back though with an analysis of the final day and a wrap up of the tournament before we'll start with the official prize giving here at Fraser, the Ballpark. Congratulations, Ramblers. Back to you in just a moment.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investec Super Rugby titles. Don't let the heels fool you. Wendy crushed 2 of the biggest names in men's tennis to go all the way at Wimbledon. Tony, one of New Zealand's most impressive multi-sport players. Try playing and taking out a rugby league grand final, a grand slam, and the New Zealand Cup all at once. Mary Adams came from nothing to take Cleveland to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally, meet Richard Sykes, a man with many loves, 80s hip-hop, his dog Bark Twain, and winning, specifically, the Cup final at Wembley. Now it's your turn. TAB, now you're in the game.
G'day, my name's Brent Mulholland. I'm the Managing Director of ELE. I guess what makes ELE quite different from others is all of our people have a technical and management skill set in the sectors that we operate. So ELE as a business operates in the civil, transport, construction, engineering and oil and gas sectors. We have branches in Christchurch, Wellington, Auckland, Hawke's Bay and New Plymouth. And we engage approximately 500 workers on any given day. So if you're a client looking for great staff for your business, we've got people that can help. We're easy to work with, non-corporate, and we like to think we just keep it
E&I Engineering is a specialist sheet metal fabrication company. We would operate a fibre laser machine. We've got 4 press brakes, about 15 welding bays with robot welding involved, shot blasting, powder coating, rotational plastic moulding, and we also do assembly work as well. We would employ in the vicinity of 75 staff, and through ELE we would have placed probably at least 15 staff onto our permanent books. So they've been very, very good for us. They've been able to help us to manage some pretty serious growth, 30% growth in the last 6 months, and we've been trying to find a range of staff. So yes, some temp labour at an entry level, but also some more highly skilled tradesmen as well. They're really, really good to deal with, generally so, not just because there's a camera in front of my face. Been very, very pleased with their relationship with ELE. Yeah, I do sincerely and genuinely recommend them.
So if you're a client looking for great staff for your business, we've got people that can help. We have recruitment from all around the country and also abroad, and that brings a level of skill and expertise to our sites that our customers really enjoy. And in today's tightening labour market, it's essential that companies like ours can get the right people. We trademarked right people, right place, because it really is all about putting the right person in the right place. And if you do that, you wind up with a successful business. We take client relationships and we build friendships, and that's what makes ELE quite special.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and Zog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home you'll own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ellie's, Ellie Papanui played a massive match-up against Mount Albert Ramblers in the grand final. Boy, it was excellent. Mount Albert Ramblers running out victorious in the grand final here for 2021. I'm Jason Gibbies, aka Chopper. Gary Rauhihi calling the colour in this game, mate. What a match. But let's look at how we got to this point through the tournament. Let's go to day one's results. Remember, they were hindered with rain.
Oh, absolutely. We had half a day called off for that one. In day one results, we saw Mount Albert Ramblers beat Porirua 15-7. Papanui got there in the first day with a win over Hutt Valley Maris 6-0. So you saw early on from Ramblers that their intention was to hit the bull with 15 runs on the ball.
A lot of rain, very difficult for the pitchers that day, but they definitely showed their wares, didn't they? Papanui as well. That was the beginning of their campaign, 6-0 over Hutt Valley Maris. Day two now was a lot of action with a log jam of games to be made up. There was 4 every time slot from the top to the bottom.
Wow, that is a convoluted time spot. I got to give kudos to the Hutt Valley organisers for giving us that one. But you go down to the 3 o'clock game there, you've got Ramblers 12 against Hutt City 0. Again, making no one of that. But the earlier game for them was at 11 o'clock, where Ramblers 11 beat Auckland Marist 4. That's an excellent result. Those two teams would have been pretty strong. Papanui, on the other hand, had an 11 o'clock game. They were up 6-2 over Albion from Christchurch, and then later on in the day they came up against Panthers from the Hawke's Bay, and that one went to 8-1 to Papanui. Both teams scored a lot of runs in the round robin.
They sure did. 20 games on day two here at Fraser Ballpark. Boy, oh boy, what a log jam of a day that was, but exciting softball from the beginning to the end. Day three now was back to more of a regulation rounds of matches, but there was lots of intent and lots of action. We saw that was the first time Ramblers took on Papanui in the 11 o'clock time slot, 11-4 in that match, a prelude to the grand final.
Oh, absolutely, we saw that one. So 11-4, then you've got to say that the result in the grand final was a big improvement for Papanui, because once again Ramblers looked like they finished the game early. So the Ramblers backed that up later on in the day at 3 o'clock with a decent win over Roosters from North Harbour, 8-1. Down below that we go to...
There's a lot of good matches that day. What about at 3 o'clock there? Albion with a big win over Hutt City United, 8-1. So even these younger teams playing some good softball here on day three.
Oh, absolutely. You've got Albion out there who look a very young looking team. I watched a couple of innings of Waitakere Bears. Actually they look like an age grade team, but they managed to beat Hutt Valley Maris this morning. And then of course you talk about the Hutt City United team, kudos to them for always putting a Premier 1 team out here in the Wellington competition. They're almost the Hutt Valley under 15 side, so that's another example.
The last two matches on day three were outstanding, weren't they? PKAU, just 1 run in it. Maris Dodgers, just 2 runs in it. They were some of the best we'd seen this week.
Oh, absolutely. We had the call on the Dodgers game, and it was just a fantastic ball game. And it's been a hallmark of the Diamond 1 ball games throughout the tournament that we've just managed to watch quality softball game after quality softball game.
The business end of the tournament started on day 4, though, as they wrapped up those top sectional play to find out who the finalists were be, and there was lots of really good games. Auckland United Dodgers, first loss for Dodgers in the tournament at 11 a.m.
Oh, of course, and look, in the early games in the tournament, a lot of people were thinking, wow, Dodgers. Look at their battery, look at their hitting lineup. They'd brought in Josh Pettit, senior Black Sox pitcher. They had Regan Manley to back him up, and you thought with that strength on the mound and the way they were playing, which was actually close to being clinical, that they would have been there right at the very deep end of the tournament. They gave themselves an opportunity up till last night in that semi-final where they had to play Auckland United. And of course that game was a telling one for them as they went down and subsequently out of the tournament.
Papanui Roosters, that was a good one as well, wasn't it? Real tight affair. The Roosters, they came with some really good game this year. Pitarona, Curtis Tompkins, some really great athletes from North Harbour.
Well, Curtis Tompkins and his young Chargers, that Roosters team, you probably know a bit more about it than me, but look out for them for the next year or two, because they could be a real up-and-coming team and a real feature at maybe next year or the year after. I think that's definitely a club to look out for on the national scene in the next couple of years.
Man, Albert Ramblers turned it in different gear when it got to 5 o'clock against AU. That was the semi-final matchup to see who would make it to the grand final today, run-ruling them in 5 innings. That was a performance out of the ages from the Ramblers boys.
Oh, and I've said it during the grand final, and during that game, innings 1, 2 and 3. 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, and we were starting to talk about it being a tight one at the end of the ball game. Bang, gave Auckland Ramblers a little bit of the sniff in their 4th innings, and boom, just opened them up. Within an innings and a half, the game was all over in the 5th.
Lots of great softball. Papanui taking on Dodgers. Remember, Dodgers only had that first loss that dropped them into that spot to take on Papanui. Back-to-back losses for Dodgers, and the 1-2 punch of Pettit and Manly gone for 2021.
Well, look at it. That was in last night's game, and it was a cool night. It was a clear night. It was a calm night. But I mean, I've got to say, what a beautiful ball ground Fraser Park is. But those lights they've got here are not the best lights for playing night softball. Unfortunately, with 17 teams in the tournament, they have no choice but to do that. Not that that was a factor, because both teams are used to it, but it's how each team manages it. And in that case, the hitting lit up for Papanui, and they won the ball game.
If we have a look at the draw for day 5, obviously we didn't quite get the results. We've only just finished for you, but it was an impressive day of action, day 5 draw. And of course, the first big game here on Diamond 1 was the last-ditch semi-final between Papanui and Auckland United.
Yeah, well, what a matchup that was. And I managed to have a quick talk with Adam Warren, of course, who'd done the lion's share of the pitching for Auckland United. And it was a great matchup.
Well, Ramblers, they put on a great performance in the final, 8 runs to 1, the national champions. Let's go down to our ground announcer and AKA MC, one of my best friends, Damien Collins, to take away the prize giving.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the prize giving of the 2021 ELE Group Open Club National Championship. And what a 5 days we've had. Wow. Kind of 4.5, I guess. 69 games played over 4 diamonds, and big ups to the Hutt Valley Softball Association for all that they've done on this one. I'm speaking, Damien Collins here for Ballpark Broadcasting, speaking on the behalf of Eugene Gilbert, Softball New Zealand Events Manager, Maureen Sorensen, the Hutt Valley Life Member, Lynette Leithart, the Chief Scorer, and of course Kelly Clifton's up here as well from Hutt Valley Softball. So without further ado, I will pass this off to Lynette, who has some words.
Yeah, hi. I had one of my ladies sitting here level 4, which is the New Zealand badge, and I'm glad to say that she's passed. If Kristen Harris could come ahead and get her badge, please.
Congratulations. Next up, I'll pass it over to Eugene Gilbert, Softball New Zealand Events Manager.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm just really happy that we had a great tournament this week. We had a little bit of a challenge at the start weather-wise, but we got through it, and we've seen some great softball all week. I just want to say a quick few thank yous to a few people that have made this tournament work, and I can't go wrong without my partner in crime, Kelly Clifton, for all the work she's done with the balls and tosses and all that. Thank you, Kelly. That was excellent. The other one I want to thank is Liz LaPrue, who is the manager of the Rico Centre. If we can give her a hand for all the mince and cheese pies and so on that really went well this week. So thank you, Liz. Also, a very, very big thank you to our officials, to our umpires and scorers for the week, And without them, we just wouldn't be able to have this tournament. So please, a big hand for our officials. It was great. And then finally, and not least, is our ground crew. Mitch, who works for Mixted, based over there, was up every morning 6 o'clock, setting up the grounds. And also Scotty Robinson, Rangi Luke, and Rob Easthope, who are able to fulfill their duties all week. So please, a big hand for our ground crew, who did a fantastic job. And finally, of course, Chopper and the gang. Thank you, Chopper. Thank you, the gang, for streaming these games and this tournament. And I'll pass the time back to Damien. So thank you, everyone. It's great to see you, and we'll see you up at Rosedale Park next year for the Men's Open Club. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugene. And just also mention to Atiawa FM, who came down and helped out with the streaming and the sound this weekend. Fantastic stuff. Well, enough of the talking, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the awards. And the first one we're going to give away is the plate final that happened between Porirua and Miramar. The winner, of course, of that one was Porirua United. So can someone come down and get the runner? Congratulations, Porirua. Now for the runner-up of the ELE Group Open Men's Club National Championships. It is, of course, ELE Papanui. Jackson Watts coming up.
Firstly, good effort this week, boys. I know some boys were just battling through injury all week, and a lot of you stood up in big times. You know, no one saw us being here in the final. So, massive effort this week, boys, and I'm incredibly proud to be a Tiger this week. Ramblers, good work on the final. There's a reason you're always in the top two always. So, congratulations on another win. So, enjoy the night, boys. Grounds crew, scorers, umpires, and the streaming. Awesome work, great event, and we'll be back next year. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jackson. Round of applause for ELE Papanui Tigers. Well, it's a big one here, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of the ELE Group Open Men's Club Nationals for 2021 is Ramblers. Now the captain of Ramblers, Cole Evans.
Cheers, mate. Not on? On now? Good? Yeah, so, like I said, firstly, thanks to everyone that made the tournament possible. At Grounds Crew, early on, it was to be able to... Still got me? To be able to keep that tournament going and not lose too many games. They did an awesome who make it happen. Just a quality side, and you just battle all week long. It's an awesome sort of spectacle to watch. We really respect you guys and your team. Great effort. And to the boys, great week. We sort of struggled early on or whatever, but found our feet and I thought we really played well towards the end. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Cole Evans. Thank you for the shout out to the broadcasting crew as the mic went down. Brilliant. We'll just get everybody to get their medals and their photo before we get into the individual awards, which have just come through.
Well, Gaza wasn't an outstanding performance from Mount Albert Ramblers. Look at them. And they deserve to be champions for 2021. They played as a unit and they played efficient, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. They came into the game with the sort of focus you need in a grand final. And as we hear, the congratulations for Ramblers, and deservedly so.
Well, it's the individual awards now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start with top batter. This one came through a little late. We had to wait for it because there are two winners. A joint winner this year in the 2021 tournament. First up, with a batting average of 600, from Howick, Seth Gibson. And the joint winner of top batter of the 2021 Club Nats, from Ramblers, West 12, Nathan Nukunuku. Congratulations, Seth Gibson from Howick, Nathan Nukunuku from Ramblers. Now for the top pitcher. Anyone guess? Daniel Chapman from Ramblers.
Well, Daniel Chapman, Gaza, man, he was in true form, wasn't he? 11 strikeouts in the grand final, just scattering 3 hits. What a performance.
Top pitcher.
Wow, absolutely.
Now our very last award, Most Valuable Player, MVP of the 2021 ELE Group Men's Open Club Nationals. From Ramblers, number 44, Bradley Bennett.
Oh, yeah.
Bradley Bennett, when we called him the Greg Norman, the Great White Shark. When he smelt blood, he just went for it, didn't he, in the shallow waters?
Well, he's the lead-off hitter in a whole lineup of hitters, and you know, if he doesn't get on, then some of those guys don't get to do their job and show their wares, and he did it all tournament.
Very deserved top hitter.
Again for 2021 MVP, Bradley Bennett. Well, that does it, ladies and gentlemen. Another Club Nationals in the bag. Go well, have a great winter, and we'll see you back for 2021, 2022. Back to you, team.
Well, Gaza, what an outstanding edition of the 2021 ELE Group Men's Open Club National Championships. Last word for you, Bud. What will you take away from 2021 edition?
I think I'll take away a few things, but I think the depth in pitching in this country is beginning to expand. I was very impressed with Adam Woon and his performance for Auckland United. You can't go past Daniel Chapman, and let me tell you, he was the pitching MVP last time the club championship was here in Fraser Park as well.
Well, simply outstanding. Some great volunteers and officials in this one. Donna Gillard and Lil Narton, our chief statisticians. Lynette Leithard was the chief scorer, umpire-in-chief. Woodbury Tamaki, we had him in the booth this week. Boy, he was insightful for sure. Eugene Gilbert, the Softball New Zealand delegate. But the last tip of the hat has to go to Kelly Clifton, tournament organiser for the Hutt Valley Softball Association.
Can't say enough about Kelly, and in addition to all the other duties, she started filling out our team sheets as well, because we all hate doing that.
Well, there you go. Mount Albert Ramblers reign supreme in 2021. 8 runs to 1 over ELE Papanui in the grand final on day 5 here. What a championship. What a pleasure to bring it to you. We want to thank you for your viewership this week. It's been our pleasure and privilege to bring that to you. And of course, we'd like to thank some of the crew as well that has worked tirelessly this week for us. The boys from Atiawa Tour FM, having them in the house. Gaza, what a difference.
Oh, absolutely. The Atiawa Tour FM, I've had the pleasure of working with them in a couple of tournaments. They always make us better, more professional, and definitely bring on a better show for the public.
The ever-lovable Willow, Tama, Ariki, Adrian Royal here on day 1 to help us set up. Had to shoot down and watch his daughter in Christchurch. Cross fingers, they got across the line. Te Aroha, I believe, we're playing Otahuhu in the final. My daughter in Otahuhu, so maybe kind of cross one finger, but we'll see. Corey, Corey, what an outstanding job he did leading the crew from Atiawa Tour FM. Ballpark Broadcasting New Zealand. Boy, I take my hats off to the volunteers and crew in that one. Rick Stamakara on camera in the final. Joe Frizo, ground announcing and commentary. Geez, insightful. Chris Stephenson making his debut. Wow, he was pretty good. Henry Collier, he was on the camera in the final as well at first base.
Oh, absolutely. We just had so much talent out there. That's what the 04 brings, of course. You got Stacey Taylor when he was available, and of course Robbie Easthope. But the guy that I enjoyed being on the microphone with, of course, Mr. Scott Easthope.
Scotty, man, he was good.
He's a revelation, eh?
He's a natural, right? He is such a natural. Thank you to Dal Marino for coming into the booth and all the other teams. Tommy Downs, man, that guy, he's a put up my hand, not put out type of person. What a legend he is. Damien Gartner on debut and commentary. He did everything this week. And of course, my man beside me, Gary Dale, he was simply outstanding. But I can't go past my sidekick, the one and only Damien Collins, the man with the deep, and I mean deep voice. He was so good. We did get a final score from Christchurch. It is Otahuhu. Congratulations to my daughter and that team and the rest of the Otahuhu squad picking up the championship down there, 10 runs to 5.
What a year the Otahuhu women are having. Didn't they win the Fast 45?
They were outstanding. They were indeed. Most of them in the one side there in Fastball 45. So it's Otahuhu for the ladies. It's Mount Albert Ramblers for the men. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for following us through this journey of 5 days of the ELE Group Men's Open Club National Championship. I've been Jason Goovies, aka Chopper. And guess what? We'll see you next time. Look after each other.